their own liquid oxygen from the air. So it seems like that's sort of a beta test. And then, especially with the recondenser at the launch site, if they can just combine those two together into a sort of, not really combine them, but just use those side by side to make methane and oxygen from the air, that'll be not only great for reducing pollution on Earth, but also a great prototype for eventually producing fuel on Mars and the Moon. So it'll be all around an extremely clean system, even cleaner than airlines, I would assume, because airlines have to use oil-derived fuels.
Right.
And with just making it out of the air, it would just be amazing, honestly.
Just airliners can use biofuels, for the record, but different conversation.
All of these things aside, what we need to be looking at on the screen right now, the 3 big tri-vents that are T-minus 10 minutes before the flight, and we're talking about whether or not algae can fuel airliners. What are you talking about? Seriously.
Dad, we'll get back to the rocket.
Jeez, chop, NASA spaceflight crew, pay attention.
Man,
we mentioned the tri-vent, and we said we had 8 minutes to talk about something else. No, I'm
kidding.
kidding.
Oh, by the way, there's a tri-vent that might be happening. I don't know if that's important or not. Anyways,
viewership went up. That's what matters.
So freefall lasts about a minute. We could talk about stuff during freefall.
Yeah, in the middle of the flight, right?
Again,
can we actually get
the
a cloud cover check?
Yes.
One at a time. What?
Go ahead, Thomas.
I was just saying, can we get a cloud cover check? I want to see what our viewing conditions are.
I have it on the other.
Yes, you can get a cloud cover check. Check this out in terms of cloud cover.
All right, not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah, not terrible. We'll see.
For some interesting visuals.
Can you check the level for us, Thomas? Like, are those up at 10,000, 15,000? Is Starship maybe going to punch through those? Or?
1 second.
Yeah. I have to stay on this. The cascade that you can see from this angle right here it's just such a fantastic angle. And by the way, while we were hanging out there, also we got Mary's camera online as well. So across the board, all the NASA spaceflight cameras are online to show you what happens in about 7 minutes when Starship, for the second time today, reaches T-minus, 1, and then hopefully reaches T-minus 0 and actually launches. You got to T-minus 0.1 before, so I couldn't say T-minus 0. Anyways, we'll see if we get a launch here. 7 minutes, that countdown timer, based on the activation of the tri-vent, those 3 big plumes that are cascading off the side of the rocket. That is our sort of estimation, not exact, but when this thing may launch. Under 7 minutes now.
You are seeing right now what part of those tri-vents are is the cryogenic conditioning or the thermal conditioning of the engines. So basically, whenever you use liquid oxygen, it's very, very, very cold. So you need to let some of that come back down into your engines and thermally condition all of the piping very slowly so that it's not shocked, right, at T0 when all of those propellants start rushing into the engine, because, you know, if you do that with very super cold elements on hotter surfaces, they can crack and they can burst, and you don't want that. So you have to condition them slowly over time, and that's part of what we're seeing happening right now with the Raptor engines. And you know what I just thought of, Das?
What?
Imagine when that Starship is doing that on top of a super heavy booster, and we're just watching that oxygen cascade all the way down the vehicle.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
That is going to be an amazing sight. Remember, folks, this is a Starship. This is just the top of the entire system. There's a whole other booster that goes underneath this. So they're just testing the upper stage here right now in this high-altitude flight test. Again, we're expecting it to fly somewhere up around, hopefully, 10 kilometers, coming up on 5 minutes and 30 seconds here for the expected T0 based on the fueling of the rocket and stuff like that. Look, you can start to see that ring form around the middle of the flaps. Down near the bottom, you can see the condensation, the ice ring starting to form once again, just like we saw earlier.
Yes, and I can confirm our clock is dead on accurate.
Excellent. Good deal.
Job. And
let's watch. Make sure we're on 1080.
We're at T-minus 5 minutes to our second launch attempt of the Starship 10 test flight. We counted down earlier today, but the computer stopped the countdown just before liftoff when the total thrust of the Raptor engine slightly exceeded the allowable limit. The SpaceX team determined the engines are good, and we decided to make another launch attempt. This will be a test flight of Starship to an altitude of 10 kilometers. Our goal is to gather data as the vehicle descends back to the landing pad on how well the flaps work to control the vehicle while it is horizontal. This again is Starship 10, one of a series of test vehicles that we are building to gather this data.
Sheesh. Land, baby. We need to land. It's gonna come down like this, too. It's gonna stay like that. Come on. Not a lot of color on the camera. Pretty raw. It's a raw image. Yes. Better land, motherfucker. Better land. I want to see like these little engine plumes. We didn't see that last time. We need to see earlier in the day when they tried to launch. Didn't see those little.
T-minus
bursts.
2 minutes 30 seconds.
Gotta see that.
Finishing up propellant loading, and we are now closing the fuel and LOX fill valves to the vehicle. Everything continues to look good on Starship 10.
Come on. Come on, man. Goodness. Please. Please work. We're watching right now. 150,000. Go.
T-minus 1 minute and counting. Starship 10 continues to look good, ready for its test flight.
Hold. Okay. Okay, we're back. We're back. Back, baby. Oh, this would be too loud. There we go. Okay.
T-minus 30.
Yep. Yep.
Copy.
Yep. Okay.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. We got liftoff.
Yes.
All teams triage alerts, please.
FC2, please prepare for section 35. OSC, FC1, LVN.
T plus 30 seconds, Starship 10 has liftoff. It's headed to 10 kilometers on its test flight from Boca Chica in Cameron County, Texas. Coming up on T plus 2 minutes, we're getting ready to transition from 3 engines to 2 engines firing on Starship. We'll be shutting 1 engine off. That's intentional.
There goes one. Looks like a great shutdown. Looking good. Great.
T plus 3 minutes and counting. Starship coming up on 8 kilometers altitude. We're getting ready to shut down the 2nd engine. This is intentional.
There she
Unclear.
goes. Beautiful.
Oh, very nice. Very
Beautiful.
nice.
Yep. Beautiful.
Okay, now to switch over to the header tank for the 1 engine.
Okay. There's header tank. Now it's just gonna start coasting like this. Looking beautiful so far.
Okay, I'm going to come back up when we hit 10 kilometers right about in 3 seconds.
Okay, here's apogee.
Coming up on T plus 4 minutes, we're at 10 kilometers. We've gone into the hover. We're still being powered by the single Raptor engine.
Nice. So there's apogee there. Now it's gonna start doing that kind of thing. Okay, cutting off soon. Belly flop is coming. Here we go. Yeah. There she goes. Flaps are gonna tuck in. Beautiful. Beautiful. So it's gonna come like this, and then it's gonna level out. There she goes. Yeah, she's leveling.
T plus 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Starship has transitioned. It's flipped to the horizontal mode, beginning the descent back to the landing zone.
How fast it actually is right now. Going through the clouds. Beautiful. Oh my god. Okay, now it's just gotta land. Come on. Oh, this is so stable. So So it's going to light 3 engines, and then one of them is going to cut off immediately. Come on, baby. It's going to go.
Coming up on 5 minutes, 45 seconds. We're down below 2 kilometers. We're preparing to light 3 Raptor engines to begin the flip sequence. It'll culminate with landing on the landing pad in Boca Chica.
Here we go. You did it. You did it. Oh my god. You did it.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god.
Has it landed, Michael? I got it. I'm on it.
It
Or do you have
landed.
it? I got
It's
it.
leaning, but
Okay,
it
get it, Michael,
landed.
get it. Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Yes.
Look
gosh!
at this right here.
It's
There is a fire down there, but
When
it
it
is
landed,
vertical.
It's gonna be
it
fun.
landed. That's the important thing.
The
Oh,
landing
yes.
legs did not work.
Yeah, the landing legs don't look like they worked.
So look at this. Look at it. All the different angles. Look at the beach angle right here.
God.
Definitely add a little bit. We've got a leaning towers Boca Chica out there. It is on the ground,
Oh my
but
god.
it looks like it may be crumpled a little bit. We
It
don't see
doesn't look
daylight
like the
underneath.
land. It doesn't look like the landing legs deployed.
Yeah.
I saw them come out
soft
near the end.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, they just said it. Yeah.
And there we have the fire suppression
Fire suppression system.
Yeah.
pulling up. Now this is going to be interesting. How
There we
stable
go.
is that, and how long can it stay in this position? This really shows it leaning backwards. Look at Jack's view here as well. A little bit more context, you can see the lean there. So this is what SpaceX is worrying about. Remember earlier when we saw the SPMT loading up near the crane? This is when we were talking about that crane maybe getting out there to secure it. It is definitely leaning just a
Whoa.
little bit.
Wait. Okay, they lit all 3 of them successfully and shut 2 of them down and did the landing on just 1.
That's fine.
Nice.
Yeah, so because they do 3 for the flip, and as long as they're operating nominally, they shut down 1, complete the flip, and then the final touchdown is under 1, as expected.
Okay.
It looked like the ignitions were a lot earlier this time.
Yes.
It looked like it was falling on an engine for a much longer time than
Scary.
even SN8, and SN8 had the longest
Wow.
engine burn.
I would point out that that likely points to Raptors operating nominally because the 2 previous Raptors were not, producing enough thrust.
won't be
So
able to
yeah,
recover
it fell
these.
quicker
True.
those times. So
Yeah.
makes sense.
I'm wondering if it's leaking or are they venting?
Yeah,
So that that might just be vent. If it was
More
leaking
fire.
methane,
there's an active fire down there though. Look at
yes,
the base.
yes, no, yes, there is. There is.
Okay.
Not discounting that. Yeah.
That has to
Yeah.
be just oxygen then.
But I guess I'm saying if it was leaking methane, there'd be like a path back somewhere. Like I would have expected it to blow at this point if
Yep.
it was if it was a heavy duty leak. Not discounting that the fire is a good thing. It's not.
dangerous.
Yeah, this is
But
this
but let's-
beach
but
angle here.
let's-
Look at this, y'all.
It's
let's-
looking like they
but
have
let-
control of the vehicle still.
Yes, but that's what I was going to say. Let's focus. Like yes, some things didn't work here. It's vertical and it's on the ground, and they
Wow.
got it back, and that is incredible.
Ridiculous.
They did confirm it was a soft touchdown, so not as they had expected it to be. But
Right.
they did confirm they had good, complete
Great.
control of the vehicle throughout the entire flight envelope.
So soft touchdown meaning it's not on its landing legs, but it didn't blow up. Basically, is
but
that
it
what's soft
landed.
touchdown?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I've seen Falcon 9 landings worse than that. So
You mean the one where someone created an ugly Christmas sweater of Doss and I both yelling,
No.
It's gonna wrap it up.
CRS 16. I hope this doesn't pull a CRS 16, but we'll